And hello, everybody out there on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel land. Thank you guys for joining me for a live. It's been a while since I've gone live here on the channel. I checked. It's been over 6 months since I've been live here on the channel. So I hope I remember how to do this. I'm like, what button? StreamYard? I don't remember what button is what. So let's see how this goes. But with that said, everybody, welcome to my Safe Gayven. Thank you guys so much for being here. Or if you were going to catch me later on the replay, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. And really quick, before I introduce everybody, we get into the live show of the Marvels, which, speaking of, if you haven't seen the Marvels, this is going to be a spoiler review if you couldn't tell by the title. But I just wanted to say a shout out to all of you guys in my Safe Gayvenaires, because I have crossed another milestone here on the channel. I have passed a little over 8,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to hit another milestone here on the channel. But now I got to get to that point. I want to have the Dragon Ball Z moment. It's over 9,000. So with you guys' help, please, if you can hit the like button on this stream or all of the videos that you watch on my channel, like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. Now, that's enough about me ranting. You're not here to hear me talk about my 8,000 subscriber milestone. You're here to have me talk about, and other people talk about, the Marvels. So with that said, you know, I don't like to do these live streams alone because it's boring. I like to have a conversation both with you guys and with my panelists. So with that said, if you're in the chat and you're watching live, it's not just about us talking. That's why we're doing it live. So we need you in the chat. Let me know what you thought about the Marvels, your predictions. I need you asking questions to the chat. If you want to leave a super chat to get out to us and support the channel, it's not expected, but it is appreciated because your boy is broke, especially after the strikes. I haven't had any deals or anything like that. So support the boy. But anyway, with that said, I want to invite one of my favorite people to come down on the stream. Had her on for damn near every single episode of Interview with the Vampire because we like talking about spooky gay vampires. And those streams, like, probably the most viewed lives that I've had during that time. And I can't wait to have her on again to talk about season 2. People really loved having her on the channel. And so let's introduce the famous, the lovely President Snow. Amanda Castro. Amanda, just vibing.
Hi, my name is.
Welcome back.
So hello, thank you for
having you back to the stream. So yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Amanda, aka Amanda Just Vibin. As Michael said, I love spooky gay vampires, and I also love very fruity Marvel characters, which I'm going to talk extensively about today.
Oh, and, same.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I am a chaotic nerd, and I cannot wait to talk about the Marvels.
All right. So coming down on the stream to The Price is Right, we got this next person who I feel like we've been in the same circles all the time, but then have never really crossed paths, never really crossed streams. But then all of a sudden now I see him all the time now. And I love seeing him all the time because I was watching his videos long before I actually met him. And now to actually get to interact with him, to get to talk to him, he has great insights, great takes, especially, you know, being an Arab influencer and things like that, and bringing that perspective to the world, which is very, especially what's going on today. But let's not talk about that. But anyway, let's introduce Neebs to the stream.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know how I got here. I thought I was going to Target. Wanted to steal that joke. But thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. Thank you for saying yes. I appreciate having, you know, different voices and giving different perspectives on for the channel. And then, you know, I'm rooting for everybody that's of color. So anyway, introduce yourself to the people out there.
My name is Neebs. I have an account called Watch with Neebs, and I also have a podcast called Salam Nerds. And I am actually from New Jersey. I am Pakistani, and my last name is Khan, just like Kamala Khan. So I have a lot of the same experiences that Kamala Khan has. In fact, I actually went on a date with the cousin of the creator of Ms. Marvel. But
flex.
So I know a lot about the character. I'm a big fan, and the Marvels was really, really exciting. So I can't wait to talk about it.
All right. Oh, look at that, Amanda. Jeez, she's beautiful. Look, you got flirt. You gotta leave her a super chat if you want to take her out on a date.
I'm a married woman. I cannot go on any dates.
For the you don't have to do anything. Just for the money.
The money for the
where the money resides. Where the money resides. Where the money resides. But anyway, next person that I have on the stream, we've only known each other for not that long. I think it's been about a year now, and in that time, like, we've had great camaraderie, great conversation. She's been there for me during times that I've been down and out, on the 8 months that I was unemployed, not having a job and all of that stuff, even though she still hasn't had me on her show yet. But, we'll get there. I see her in the background. But we're gonna work that out. But anyway, let's introduce Kira from Room Full of Blurs. How's it going? You're on mute, Kira.
This is a running gag on my podcast with fellas, Blurred's Eye View. Constantly, will never not have my mic muted when I'm about to go on to the show. Hi.
Yeah, introduce yourself. I had you on the show before, but just in case other people they didn't see you before, introduce yourself.
My name is Kira. I have an account on Instagram called Room Full of Blurs. I also have a podcast called Room Full of Blurs. Record Sundays at 7 p.m. And I am basically here to support new content creators or whatever amalgamation we are about to turn into in order to get them put out there by word of mouth or just to have somebody cool on. Doesn't matter who you are. That's me. I'm a support them all day, every day.
All right, guys. So with that said, we are officially your Marvels for this panel. I made a thing on the chat that I put you guys in saying we're the Wish version of the Marvels because none of us have superpowers. But like I said, we're here to talk full spoilers for the Marvels. So leave your comments, questions, theories, all of that stuff in the chat. So now let's get into it. So we're going to start with Neves. Really quick, before we get into like a deep dive, what were your initial thoughts and impressions of the Marvels, and how did you compare it to the original Captain Marvel? Do you like it more or better?
So I had very low expectations for this movie because I just didn't feel like Disney was promoting it very well. So I thought they didn't have a lot of faith in it. And I didn't think there was a lot of promotion. So I'm like, all right, they must not really like this movie. So I went in there and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I thought it was entertaining. I thought the only issues I thought the movie had was I felt like there was stuff that was on the cutting room floor of the editing. There are some things I feel like we could be missing with the villain and maybe, some more things that probably happened that we don't know about. But it was a very entertaining movie. Everybody I know was laughing. I went a second time, and this time I went with a bunch of kids, like my nieces, and they just had so much fun. They couldn't stop giggling at the cats. It was a fun time. It's a good family movie, and I wish it was promoted like a family movie.
Agreed. It definitely felt like this movie was catered, especially because Iman Vellani was in it, and she's like the minor of the cast. Like, it felt like it was catered to a much younger audience than the general. Granted, Marvel in general is catered to a younger audience, but adults kind of. But this was like really mostly for the kids. But with that said, Kira, what did you like initial thoughts of the movie?
Initial thoughts, almost exactly like Neeb. I wasn't gonna go, to be honest with you. I had no intention. Me and Marvel were going through a really rocky time, so we've separated, and I just didn't want to do anymore. I was very pleasantly surprised. This was the injection of new life into Marvel that was sorely needed. I really liked it. I think I want more of this to happen in Marvel. Iman Vellani is a treasure, and you can't change my mind about that. That girl needs to be on everything Marvel from here on out.
Agreed. All right, Amanda, what did you think? And then also, how does it compare to Captain Marvel?
So I laughed a lot, and that's like one thing that I've been enjoying, at least with movies lately, where I'm like, I love that we're kind of getting the fun back in movies. So I feel like for a while, It was just very like gritty, dark, like be realistic. The world is bleak, and I'm like, I feel like the world itself is bleak enough. I just want to laugh. I want to have a good time. I want to be entertained, and I definitely was entertained. And as far as like comparison to the previous movie, I feel like it was very tonally different. The first one was definitely like an origin story. It was an establishing narrative. And then this coming like 5 years after that, like it's definitely it's weird because it's like a lot of things have happened in between. We have like Carol's relationship with Monica that's a little bit strained. We have the newcomer in Miss Marvel, and so it was very fresh. Like it definitely had more of a fresh feel. I do have my own personal issues with the movie, but like
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but overall,
and I have a feeling, I have a strong feeling that your issues are the same as mine.
I feel like we're on the same wavelength. But like overall, it was just fun. It was a fun time, and I don't regret watching it. Like you ever like walk out of a movie and be like, "Well, that was a waste of an hour and a half." You know what I mean? But I didn't feel that way. I felt like, "Oh, I'm satisfied. I had a fun time." You know?
Yeah.
Agreed. And it was the same with me. Like going into this movie, let me backtrack a little bit actually. First, before all of the stuff that happened with the strikes, Secret Invasion, all of that stuff, this movie was my most anticipated Marvel project of the year. Like I was hella excited. Like I was ready to go. I was ready to go to red carpet. Like I was ready for all of that. Of course, the strikes ended up defeating that. But then we got Secret Invasion. And Secret Invasion broke my soul to no end. And the fact that it was like not, and then also on top of that, then we're not going to get to a Secret Invasion review, but my God. But then on top of that, then you had other stuff that was going around with this movie. In fact, the fact that it was listed as the shortest of all the Marvel movies, which kind of told me they didn't really have that much faith in it. And then also that this movie was kind of a nothing movie for it to be so short. And then you add the fact that the review embargo for the movie didn't lift until 24 hours before the movie actually came out. And the social media embargo lifted that same day, that midnight of the movie, of the day the movie comes out. And so usually when studios do that, that tells you that they have no faith in the movie, that the movie is going to be garbage. And so I went into this movie with the lowest of low, so low expectations. Like I sat next to my friend who's my +1, and I was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how trash do you think this movie is going to be? And so that was my mindset going into the movie. And then once the movie started from start to finish, I was smiling and I'm like, I'm waiting for the trash. Like, why I'm liking this movie. Wait, am I trash? Like, is that why I'm liking this movie? Like, what is happening? Like, I was expecting to hate this movie. And I wanted, not to say I loved it. Is it Infinity War? No. Is it Winter Soldier? No. Is it top 5 Marvel movies? No. But I don't think that's what it was aiming for. And I had a lot of fun watching the movie. Like, yes, I have issues. We'll talk about that later. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. I would totally watch it again. I haven't had a chance to watch it again, but I would totally watch this movie again. And honestly, I liked it better than the first Captain Marvel movie.
I agree.
Same.
I agree.
Yeah. So with that said, now let's get into some more specifics where the movie opens and we start with Carol having the dream sequences and everything like that, seeing the past. She's still obviously getting her memories back and all of that. Oh, wait a minute. Got our first super chat in the stream. Ooh, thank you, Jessica, for the $20 super chat. I'm gonna go ahead and sit this dollar here because I don't know when I'll get another live. I don't know. Like I said, I went live 6 months ago. I'll try to be more consistent, especially now that the strikes are over. But we'll see. But hold on. What is this comment? Yo. Is it cool to just lurk and hear spoilers since I'm curious about the movie? # for the all gay rhythm. I mean, yeah, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't mind, getting spoilers, then that's totally up to you. But go see the movie because it was good. So long as it doesn't diminish your enjoyment. But yeah, so Captain Marvel's in the spaceship, and we see her interaction with talking to Nick Fury and learning more about her time and with what happened in the previous Captain Marvel movie and things like that. But let me ask you guys this, especially after everything that, like, her learning more about her past, and then also seeing more interactions between her, Monica, and Iman Kamala. How did you feel about Brie Larson's performance and just her Carol Danvers in general, based on especially like a lot of people's criticisms with regards to her performance in the first Captain Marvel, where they thought her performance was wooden. They didn't like her as Carol Danvers. They didn't think she was good as, you know, in the role.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Amanda, start with you first.
Because like I Captain Marvel, like the first one, wasn't my favorite Marvel movie, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, I have my issues with it, but I will fight somebody else on their issues with it because I know why they have that issue. You know what I mean? Like my issues with like the movie are not the same as like somebody else's issues with the movie, and I disagree with a lot of like their criticisms on like the way that Carol was portrayed, because the reason she is wooden is because she was literally like molded to be that way. Like her character was basically just like brainwashed, lied to, turned into a soldier. Like she wasn't meant to be like this bubbly, giddy, like cutesy character. Like that's not who Carol was in the first movie. And given her story, why would you expect her to be that way, you know? And then especially somebody that doesn't remember anything about herself, anything about her previous life, who's only been like a fighter basically for like what time she can remember. Like, of course she's not going to be this, she's not going to be the kind of character that people expected her to be for whatever reason, and we know what the reason is. But
and then not only just that, but what makes us who we are, it's our memories, it's our experiences. Without that, take away my memories, yeah, my name is Michael Simeon, but you don't get this you don't personality, because it's like everything that I remember is what makes up who I am. She didn't have any of that.
And she was basically gaslit, girl bossed, and gatekept her entire like life as a Kree, where it's like, okay, she's not going to have the personality. Like you see the flashbacks of her like karaoke dancing, having fun with her friend, being an auntie to Monica. Like she had those things were taken away from her, and that was literally a plot point in that movie. So it's basically just a fundamental misunderstanding of not only the character but the plot of the first movie as a whole, to be like she was wooden. It's like, yeah, she has fucking memories. It's like she's not gonna have anything to go off of. She has nothing, but she's a Kree like soldier basically. So like now that she like, as she went through like the movie and had interactions with people and started getting her like memories back and started realizing who she was, like, yeah, it's called an arc. Like it's called character development. Like the characters, and especially too, where it's just like, it's a very tough spot where like in 2019 when Captain Marvel first came out, we already had like over a decade of Marvel projects. So people were used to people's complete stories or almost complete stories and almost complete characterizations. And as people are, they're like, you gave us this new thing after we asked for a new thing and now we don't like it. And it's like, okay, but like you have to use your thinking cap. Like use context, use like what the story is about, and forget about the characters that had 2 to 3 movies to have character development, you know? And this is a new one. Give her a chance. And I feel like a lot of people didn't give Carol a chance, and I stand by that to this day.
So Kira, being that you weren't going to see this movie and you ended up doing, did you give Carol a chance when you saw it? What did you think about?
Okay, so first of all, I might be jumping ahead a little bit, but Nia DaCosta.
It's fine. You can jump ahead. We're talking about the whole movie, so we'll do it all. We'll do it all.
Nia DaCosta did what should have been done in that last movie. I understand the whole brainwashing thing, the wooden thing, but I think the other things that took away from Captain Marvel was it felt like, and I don't know what word to use, but it felt like they were determined to use these specific notes and beats of what they perceived to be something that women and girls would like to see in their superhero, and it did not translate whatsoever for me. It felt very hollow. So that's where the character missed the mark for me. This movie is not that at all. She's got a little bit of a life to her. She's emoting a lot more. Not that makes or breaks a character 100%. But I had a better connection with her. This was getting closer to the Captain Marvel that I knew from the comics, from the Civil War comics. So I was happy to see that in her. It does wonders when you let your actor actually act in a movie. I feel like she was very stifled on that set. Every time I see her, I feel like she did not have a good time on that set. There's something that just rings. She was very agitated, it seems.
Yeah, and for me, like, my biggest problem with the Captain Marvel movie is I somewhat conscribe to the criticism of, I feel like her performance was very wooden, and the only reason I say that, not because of, like, yes, that was the whole point of her memories being gone, but my issue with that is, but she still had the memories of her Kree soldiers. And I feel like there wasn't enough emotion to the fact that this is supposedly her family, the people that she's known all her life, as far as she knew. And then to find out that they betrayed her, there was nothing. It was just like, they just bust out to, I'm just a girl, as she's beating their asses. And I'm like, no, this should have been an emotional beat of your family basically betraying you. If you wake up tomorrow, you find out your mother sold you into fucking sex slavery or something like that, you would be devastated, because, like, that's your mother. Like, Ma, I came out of you. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. That's where my mind went. Don't judge me. But, like,
now that soundtrack alone triggers me every time I hear it. I hate that soundtrack. It annoys the shit out of me. But to your point, she did show more life with those people than she did in any point in time. Like, throughout the rest of, I don't want to say the rest of the movie, but the majority of the movie. Some of that personality should still be able to shine through when you're talking to Nick Fury. If you're talking to another character that you need to interact with, even if you don't know them, there should be something there that you bring with you into this new planet. It's yeah, this movie is so much better.
Agreed.
God.
And speaking of a personality shining through, Neve, let's talk about the scene where we finally get introduced to the live action movie version of Kamala Khan. She's making her debut in the movies, and we see her obsessing over Carol Danvers and drawing. And I love the little joke, and she's like, "Why is it so hard to draw hands?" I'm like, oh, is that Rob Liefeld slander? Like,
that's so funny.
I love that. What did you think about that scene? And that and I'm throwing back in the reference, like Miss Marvel, where they had the comic book like art going through and dispersing through the scene and things like that.
Yeah, it really felt like it was just as much of a Kamala Khan movie as it was a Carol Danvers movie, because they added so much of her in there. They added her family in there. It was a really cool thing to see. And like, there's all this cultural references that like I picked up, and I was like, oh, cool. They didn't bother explaining that but it's those little Easter eggs that you kind of see when you watch these. But I thought like the whole movie just started off so hard with the scene where they're just like fighting in their living room in Jersey City. I thought that was a great way to just like start the movie, and it just like had such a great action scene right in the beginning. I love that scene. I thought it was so good, and it was so cool to see the entire family just reacting to it. Mama Khan was there, the brother was there, they were all like, you know, fighting, and it was just a really fun fighting scene. I've never enjoyed an intro to a Marvel movie as I did this one with this fighting scene.
Agreed. Yeah. And honestly, I don't know why, but I was surprised how well crafted the fight choreography was throughout this movie. Like, all of it was super engaging. You didn't really see a lot of like CGI and stuff. Like you could tell it was actually Tiana Paris making and doing those punches. It was actually Brie Larson and Kamala Khan, obviously to a certain extent because they have to do stunt choreography. But like the way it was shot, and then eventually when you get towards the end when they do the switching, like I thought I love the way the fight scenes were. What did you guys, Amanda? What did you think of like how they did the fight scenes, especially in the beginning of this?
I'm so glad we're moving away from like the shaky cam, like fast cut scenes where it's just like you have no idea what's going on. There's limbs flying everywhere. I'm so glad that we've like strayed away from that and we actually have like choreography, especially whenever they switched. I loved it. Like it was so fun to see like the like the reactions and the way that they like basically adjusted and configured the way that they fought. It was so cool. It was a very, very creative and fun way to have fight scenes. And it was consistently done well throughout. And I love, and especially like, I know it's like skipping over, but like the little montage scene where they were like figuring out how to use the powers together. I loved that so
That was cute.
much. That was adorable. And the double dutching, I was like, it's like a sleepover. I feel like I'm like in a sleepover. I love it. But yeah, I really did enjoy the way the fight scenes were crafted, and I like think there's a lot of value in letting these stunt actors do their work, letting the actors do their work, and not just like shaking the camera, cutting really fast, and hoping something hits. Like I hate.
And then an actor throws a punch, and right before it connects, they do a cut, and it's like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah,
where are we?
Favorite type of fight, quote unquote, like choreography loosely in the name only. Whenever I saw that in a movie, I was like it was no. But I'm so glad we strayed away from that.
And one thing that I loved about this movie, even going to reference of like Blue Beetle, is how involved Kamala's family was. Not just in the beginning, but throughout the entire movie, because they could have easily left them like, okay, we're going off to space, and then we never see them again until the very end. But no, they went to space too. And I love that because it also goes to show, like, not that other people don't have this dynamic either, but like, if you're black or brown, especially being a superhero, there's no hiding it from your family.
No.
Your family's all up in your business. Like, I have my own apartment and everything, but my mother lives right upstairs from me, and the door to come down into my apartment is like right here. And she just walks. She doesn't knock.
That's hilarious.
Just walks in. So I'm like, if I was fighting a demon in here, like, well, my secret's out. Like, so I appreciate that they did that with, you know, interjecting her family and seeing the dynamic between, you know, her brother, her mother, her father, and all that stuff. Kara, what did you think about, you know, the fact that they had Kamala's family throughout the entire narrative of the movie?
That was like it made sense. It definitely is not something that you just walk out of you don't walk out of the house without your parents in my house knowing where you're going, who you're going with, what time are you going to get there.
Exactly. I'm grown. It's still where you going? Like,
well, all of that. It's simple. Like, it's simple. Like, you're supposed to be able to say, you know what your kid is doing. The fact that they didn't know that she was being surveilled was an issue. That was a major issue in all of that.
Especially being Muslim, you know, we're surveilled all the time.
Dude, you know what I was missing? Where were the people that were surveilling Spider-Man? Isn't there a whole group that
you talking about damage?
Oh no, the people that were surveilling Kamala in the show.
Oh, the DOD or something.
Whatever they were. Yeah, I don't remember the name of them, but yeah.
I have a file.
Do they have a file?
Well, remember Nick Fury had the file. Yeah.
Yeah,
they have a whole file. I mean, I expect him to have a whole file, but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why wouldn't she know that they're surveilled? Because they had those people show up anyway.
Maybe she felt like once they were defeated, they would disappear. Like once she became the hero of Jersey City.
Yeah.
The people that were surveilling her didn't know her secret identity, though. I don't think they knew it was Kamala.
No, they didn't know her secret identity.
Yeah.
No.
You're right. But anyway, no, the fighting was spectacular. I actually stopped in the middle of the movie to text in a group chat, y'all need to bring your asses into this movie because scene is amazing. I just full stop.
Yeah.
One thing I do wonder though, because remember the last time we saw Nick Fury in the spaceship, he was in there with nothing but a bunch of Skrulls.
Yeah.
But then we get to this movie. Who are those people on the ship with him?
Oh yeah, they're like old as hell too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who those Harpo? Who this woman? Like who
I
them people?
also, like, okay, that was like one thing too. Like Dwayne and I were talking about, like in the car ride home. We're like, when the hell is this?
Right.
So I looked it up, and this is also an issue I have with the movie as well. So I guess we'll get into it. This movie takes place weeks after Secret Invasion. So
What?
remember at the end of Secret Invasion when Nick Fury goes back up into the spaceship and he leaves his wife? That's him going back up. And then like 4 weeks later, you get this movie.
So he had the Bajin just chilling in his room up on the spaceship, the Just for Men, just chilling because it was all gray and grisly looking.
I mean, he's on a spaceship, and you got the guy that was like the kind of the butler. So maybe he got
a space Instacart.
Yeah, he had something like that. He had DoorDash to space because you saw they had the space elevator, so he had a razor delivered to him. But here's one of my issues with the movie. So let's jump forward a little bit. So being that it takes place not months, years, whatever, mere weeks after Secret Invasion, where the president declared war on all aliens in the United States. Don't you think that would have came up at least once? Especially once you add the fact that Carol summoned Valkyrie to bring all the Skrulls to Earth.
Yeah, and fucking New Asgard is on Earth.
Exactly. Yeah. It's on Earth. So don't you think there should have been why are you bringing more Skrulls? What, the Skrulls that are on Earth are already in danger.
Is not in the United States though.
No, it's not in the United States.
But still.
Yeah, exactly. But still, like there should be like, oh, be careful. Go to New Asgard. You're protected because it's not in the U.S. Like there should have been some type of reference because obviously the president doesn't have any jurisdiction outside of America, kind of for the most part, but we still have bases. If it still takes place in the real world, we still have bases across the entire world. So there should have still been some type of reference to what was going on in Secret Invasion. Carol and Nick should have had a conversation.
If people are getting shot on live TV, what is it, the prime minister or somebody?
Yeah, the prime minister, and that wasn't in the United States.
So around the world, like because they replaced like world leaders and shit.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
I feel like that's more of a fault on Secret Invasion than it is the Marvel because that show was just so trash. So there's like no point to anything that happened in that show because the show was like, you know what, you can just ignore the entire show.
I have one thing to say. I think Secret Invasion should have been a movie.
I think it should have been an email.
I should have been. I don't think it should. I think it should have been. I think Secret Invasion should have been a whole phase.
Oh my god!
So every movie you see a different like Skrull taking over, like, oh, this person. And granted, maybe not main characters because obviously we can't get Chris Evans back or anything, but at least like characters throughout, like Spider-Man, or you see like, oh, this person is a Skrull or whatever. Then the next movie and the next movie until it culminated to a full event because you can't do something as large as Secret Invasion was in the comics to a 6-episode.
Yeah, that's the issue that I've been having, where it's like I feel like the 6-episode model is not very good. And that's a different conversation for a different day. But anyway.
No, yeah, I agree. Like these 6 episodes aren't, and then on top of that, like my biggest complaint about these Disney Plus shows, and also why I'm not, a lot of people are loving Loki. I thought it was okay. I was bored.
Same.
I was bored throughout 5 episodes.
It was not like a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, the last episode is when I was actually interested.
Yeah, and then by the time you're interested, it's done.
Yeah, but like I feel like these Disney Plus shows, they're giving us all these characters that we've seen throughout the MCU history, like Sam Wilson, Wanda, et cetera, but we're not learning more about their cat. Like what did I learn more about Nick Fury in Secret Invasion that I didn't already know outside of the fact that he has a wife? What did I learn?
I don't want to be crass, but he's the United Colors of Benetton when it comes to his women.
At least she was black. Granted, she wasn't. She wasn't.
Sometimes.
She wasn't.
But she was.
But she was.
Oh my god.
They could have made her a white woman.
Damn, double racism.
But like same thing with like Loki, even for the most part. What did I learn about Loki that I didn't already know in the show, other than there's good in him? We already knew that.
Always bothered me about Loki, and this is like rolling back to season 1. I know this is like kind of off topic, is the fact that like 2012 Loki was swayed by what essentially was a PowerPoint presentation of his life. And then he completely shifted characterization from the Loki that was pulled from that timeline into the 2018 Loki? Like 2012 Loki was the one that is the Loki.
Wait, when did Ragnarok come out? 17? 18? I don't know. Whatever.
So like
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking like. So like the fact they pulled out a variant of 2012 Loki and then he didn't act at all like 2012 Loki. I was like, wait, what's like you wouldn't hit that arc until years down the line. Like what's going on? Like why are you acting not the way that your character is acting?
And part of me kind of gets it in a sense. Like I get, yeah, it's just a PowerPoint presentation, but he still saw that his mother died. Like that's what really changed Loki.
Yeah,
like his mother dying. So the fact that he saw that
his mother dying, him dying, like,
yeah.
But at the same time, like I don't know. I have my beef with
But then, same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. What did I learned more about Bucky than I learned about Sam.
Yeah.
No, that's my biggest problem with these Disney Plus shows. Like and then they're not really like, because again, there was no reference to Secret Invasion in this movie. So then what was the point of Secret Invasion? And then also on top of that, when you get to Secret Invasion, the whole point of Secret Invasion was the fact that the Skrulls didn't have a planet and they were looking for a place to live. Then you jump to this movie. And there's a whole fucking planet that the Skrulls
have a planet. They have architecture. They got technology. They're good.
And granted, I get they were refugees, so it wasn't their planet, but they were doing a peace treaty with the Skrulls. But had that peace treaty went into effect, that would have been their planet. So I was like, so then what was the point of Secret Invasion? Why don't they just send all these niggas to the fucking planet that they're on? Like, I'm very confused right now.
Yeah, I feel like that the civilization that they had and like the settlement they had, like I feel like that couldn't have been done in like a couple weeks between between Secret Invasion and freaking.
No, that couldn't have been done in weeks.
No,
they've been had that.
So what the hell was the problem?
Exactly.
Like I might be misremembering, but I think it was an issue of sustainability. Like everybody went in a completely different direction because of just being hunted and tracked down. So they also had limited resources on whatever ships they were on. So everybody just landed wherever the hell it is that they landed, but they didn't have one place to call home as a community. I think that was the issue. I could be wrong.
Fury got a whole saber base. Like he could put them on.
Look, listen, I don't make the rules. I'm just saying that's
Carol got ships. She probably knows some people with ships. Hell, she's a princess on a planet. You don't think they got ships?
Oh, they go to the singing planet. I'm sure they love to sing. Well, they
I don't remember his name, but honey, I need a ship to take the Skrulls to another planet. It's like we could have had that whole moment.
I love how they always have to remind us that Brie Larson can, in fact, sing.
Which I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
No,
he's Scott Pilgrim?
No, I did, but it's been a while.
Yeah, she was a whole like pop star in Scott Pilgrim, and then she had a music career before that.
Listen to Jessica, everybody. Hit that like button. It'll help with the algorithm. We got 26 people in the stream, so I should have 26 likes on the stream. Thank you guys for joining us here for the Marvels. But yeah, I didn't know she could sing.
Yeah,
by the way, if you do want to see a really good version of Secret Invasion, there is actually a cartoon on Disney Plus called Earth Mightiest Heroes where they do a whole Secret Invasion arc.
I was so upset that show got canceled. That was like one of the best Marvel cartoons ever. And then they released canceled it for something way more subpart, like the Avengers Assemble. That was trash.
Assemble.
That was trash. But yeah, I loved Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So yeah, if you haven't seen Earth's Mightiest Heroes, currently on Disney Plus, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
But with that said, so what happened next? So Scene talked about the interaction, Kamala being on the disc. I don't remember what happened. Help me out.
It was just kind of seeing all the girlies doing what they do. So Monica being in space, Carol also being in space, but differently. And then Kamala just being on Earth and doodling. And then it basically immediately, like, after they do that whole power switch thing, it just kicks off from where Miss Marvel left off.
And they also do a little bit more explaining about like the bangle and the villain. Actually, that is something I want to go to, like, because I'm not going to do like a whole play-by-play of the movie, because then I'm like, what happened here? What happened here? I don't remember. It's just going to be a general discussion of things we like, things we want to point out, everything about the movie. Otherwise, the stream, if we go through a play-by-play stream, is going to be like 3 hours, and nobody got time for that. I just worked an 11-hour shift, so no. But one of the things I do also want to point out is my disappointment with the villain, Dar-Ben. And yes, it's a Marvel thing that a lot of times, more times than not, the biggest complaint about Marvel is they never really get the villains right. But the thing that irks me the most about this particular thing is I feel like they had a really great opportunity to make her story and arc and her descent into villainy really compelling, because kind of like Thanos, even Killmonger, Namor, she was right to be upset. Yeah. She was right to do the things that she was doing, because ultimately what she wanted to do was protect her planet, protect her people, bring life back to her planet. And she was pissed off because Carol Danvers is the one that fucked up her people's life to be able to live on that planet, because when she destroyed the Supreme Intelligence, who all of a sudden turned green, all of a sudden, what happened with that? I thought it was Anna, what's her name? The Supreme Intelligence. I was gonna say Anna Kendrick, but that's not her name.
Right.
But whoever the woman was in the last movie, I thought that was the Supreme Intelligence. Then you get to this movie, it's a big old green floaty thing. But anyway, when she destroyed that basically destroyed the entire infrastructure of Hela. And so she just wanted to live. She just wanted her people to have sunlight and be able to dive in the beach and things like that. So they could really double down on that narrative and be like, no, I'm doing this because you destroyed my life and my world, so I'm destroying your life and your world. It's only fair, an eye for an eye. But they kind of like glossed over that. They didn't really dive into that as much to, have it be as compelling. And I think that is also a big fault of the movie only being like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they glossed over it. I think they did it and just cut it all out, because it feels like there was more movie there that we're missing. Because from like the scenes that I've seen when they did promotions and stuff like that, there's so many things missing. There's scenes where like Kamala was kidnapped wasn't in the movie. Like there's so many things that are missing in the movie.
Well, they need to release the director's cut. Release the Kraken.
And like the thing too, where I think they missed the mark with the villain, because I feel like Zalway did very, very well. Like performance wise, just like energy wise.
I have no problem with her performance. It's just how she was written in the end.
I think one of the compelling things that they could have leaned into more is that she was clearly willing to basically destroy herself in order to like help her planet. And like, if you were to put that feature onto a hero, it would be like a very altruistic thing. So I feel like
Tony Stark killed himself to save.
I feel like they could have played around with that, where it's just like, what is Carol willing to sacrifice the way that Dar-Ben is willing to sacrifice? Because even her like people were like, oh, like it's going to be unstable. You're not going to be able to do it and get out of it. And she's like, I don't give a shit. Like I just want to be able. I want you guys to be able to live.
Yeah, I want my people to live.
And so I feel like they could have leaned into that more, and also maybe deconstructed Carol's character more, being like, okay, so what are you willing to put in to be able to basically protect the people you love and the people
bitch, you destroyed our planet. Where's our reparations? Like, what
exactly. Like leaned into that more, and instead of just kind of like glossing over, because that's a really big thing. Like she destroyed a fucking planet. Like she destroyed thousands, millions of people's lives. Like, I feel like they glossed over that. And so I think they should have like really leaned into like the dichotomy of those two characters.
And obviously she didn't do it on purpose. It's not like she did it with the intent, but at the same time, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
But she also did the thing that she kind of always does, and she kind of like, and that's a big thing too.
Punches first, ask questions later.
They could have also leaned into the because every character has their flaws, and I feel like they could have leaned into Carol's flaws and being like, you have a habit of just running away and just like pushing things off and just being like, I'll fix it later. Hopefully I can fix it later. And I feel like that should have been a more front and center issue and something that she had to more so overcome than the way that they portrayed it. I don't think it was executed quite as well. I knew what they were trying to do. I picked up what they were putting down, but they didn't put down everything they were supposed to, you know?
I think
I was gonna say, Kara, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I feel like there's also the issue of the longstanding hatred of Carol with the Kree. I think they could have expanded on that in that ending by having maybe a few of the people that definitely needed to be on that ship in order to help her get to that point in outer space, her being Durbin. Have those people come back and tell the story of Durbin sacrificing herself in order to save their planet ultimately. And maybe be looking at Carol and saying, well, you only came here because you felt guilty about the shit that you did. The real hero is the person that made you do this thing to save us. There could have been some kind of like long-standing animosity or something they could build on that dislike of Carol and maybe have that lead into something with whatever they're going to do with Kang or Fantastic Four, whatever they're going to do.
Which actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that just reminded me. I was like, fuck. Because that's something I actually wanted to bring up to you guys before we started talking about the Marvels, because I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it, because breaking news for everybody that doesn't know, it's not like officially confirmed, but it's kind of confirmed that they've cast their Reed Richards for the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah,
and it's going to be Pedro Pascal. So I wanted to know, what do you guys think about the casting? If it's actually officially confirmed that Zaddy Pascal is going to be Reed Richards. Neves, I'll start with you.
I do look. I love Pedro Pascal. I love everything that he's done. I love The Mandalorian. I love Narcos. I love the Game of Thrones. But I do feel like it's a little bit of stunt casting. It's like, boom, here's this big name, and we're gonna use him to draw all of the viewers. I don't know, but he can do it. I know he can do it. It's just like, I think they didn't give other people a chance because they're like, oh, it's a big name draw. Let's get him in there, and that's what's gonna bring in. That's what's gonna put butts in seats.
Yeah, I agree. Like literally right before this, we started going live, I made a video basically saying like, look, I love Zaddy Pascal. I love him as Oberyn. I love him as Joel. I love him in The Mandalorian. If this man walked through my door right now, I would instantly drop to my knees and do some other things. But like him being, I'm sorry, knees. I know this is like your first time having me on the channel, but I have no filter. I can't help myself. But like,
it's your show, bro. I love it.
But like, honestly, I feel like him being cast as Reed Richards, yes, I have no qualms about his performance. I feel like he's definitely gonna kill it. I know he's gonna kill it. But like, he's already been Oberyn Martell. He's already Joel. He's already the Mandalorian. Like, give me somebody new. Like, I'm tired of this kind of like open door policy that you see between like Marvel, Star Wars, and DC. Like, there was rumors that Margot Robbie was in running to play Susan Richards. No. She's already fucking Harley Quinn. She's already Barbie. Give me somebody else.
You know what? I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, oversaturation is a goddamn thing. Like, relax. But then I thought, but wait, that's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. No, I'm not blaming him.
If he can play the part and he's going to be the best person to play that part, and it's not like he gives the same energy with any of the characters that he does, give him the money. Just take the Marvel, take the Disney money, take the HBO money, take it. Just here.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not blaming him. And yeah, obviously as an actor, you're gonna take whatever role that they're gonna offer you, because especially if it's a big role, especially if it's like an iconic role, like I get to go down in history, I get to play Reed Richards, I get to play the Mandalorian. Fuck yes, like I get to play, because they're all vastly different characters. So he gets to, work on his acting stuff. So I get that from his perspective, but like from an audience member, it's like granted, I love Pedro Pascal. He's probably going to be great on screen, but like, I'm just like I want an unknown. Like, give me another Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston. We didn't know who the fuck they were before they were cast as Thor and Loki, and now look at them.
Yeah.
Tom Holland. We didn't really know who he was before he was cast as Spider-Man. That's what I want again for Reed Richards.
I'll even take a washed up actor. Like Robert Downey Jr. was like washed up before he came back around.
Agreed. Yeah. Like, give me. That's what I want.
Washed up actor as Reed Richards. Who would you cast?
John Stamos.
John Stamos.
I think he could do it.
Why do I feel like he would like kill it though? What about you, Michael?
Come back to me. I gotta think about it.
Okay, Kira.
I was gonna say one of the Coreys, like Corey Haim, somebody like that. He's. Oh.
I'm trying to think of who the hell he is.
Corey Feldman.
I was thinking immediately when he said Corey, I was like, Corey Feldman?
Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, like one of them. I don't know, but nah, I don't see it.
The old like 80s vampire movies, I think, if I remember.
Oh, I love 80s vampire movies.
Yeah. He would be terrible at it, but yes, if you want to watch up, he'd be terrible. If you want to watch up actor, then he would be my pick.
I mean, I don't know about washed up. He's not washed up, but I haven't seen him in anything since. But what about like Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead?
Fine, that's washed up. It's over. No.
Wait, what did you say? You broke your connection broke up.
No, I'm saying he's on the line, hung to dry. It's washed up. He done.
I mean, I guess he's washed. So Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead. That's a choice.
Isn't that the main guy?
Yeah, he's the one that played.
He hasn't been on the show for a while. They wrote him out.
Well, why can't I think of his name?
Andrew Lincoln.
Andrew Lincoln. Yeah, Carl is the son. Shane is the Punisher guy. I can't think of his name. Whoever he played, but him.
Shane or Andrew Lincoln?
Andrew Lincoln.
I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna bother me.
He's not washed up. He just hasn't done. No, he's gonna be in another Walking Dead series with Michonne.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Wait a minute.
I don't know, but yeah, him is. But let me ask y'all this though: did y'all like John Krasinski as Reed Richards?
No.
For like the third. I don't know.
He was there for 30 seconds.
It was fine for that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it was fun. It was a cute little girly pop. Like,
there we go. Rick Grimes.
Rick.
I'm like, what is his name? Whatever his name is, that man.
Yeah. Oh God.
Maybe him is Reed Richards.
Because sorry, my dog decided she has an opinion.
She wants to join you. She wants to join. I mean, your dog is a flirkin, so it worked.
It's my this is the puppy.
The dog version of a flirkin, barking. I don't know.
A barking, but she just wants to be involved. But I don't like as far as because I love Pedro Pascal. I love him so much, and I think that again he's been several iconic people already. And I'm not gonna not like him as Reed Richards. Like I know he's gonna eat. I know he's gonna cook. I know he's gonna eat. So I'm not mad, but also I kind of agree where I'm I kind of would have liked to be like, oh, who's that guy? You know?
See, I don't know if granted I knew he was in the final running to play Reed Richards, but I don't know if I see it.
I love Adam Driver, so this is gonna be said with the nicest.
Yeah, it's no Adam Driver. I said Adam. Who the hell is that? Adam. No, I just went a country twang in there, but no Adam Driver slander. But as Reed Richards, nah.
I feel like okay, because Reed is a dork. He's smart as shit, right? But I feel like Adam is like a little bit too dorky.
I can't get. Sorry, he's not attractive to me in any way, shape, or form. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna.
But like, and I say this with the nicest, like, again too, like, I love Adam Driver, and like I say this in the nicest way possible, because dorky is not necessarily like a bad thing, but I feel like the vibe doesn't match Reed, you know?
And yeah, and I agree with Al saying I want someone older. They want to go younger because there's so much time between the movies so far. So for longevity, they need someone younger, which is actually why I wish they cast. I love Mahershala Ali. He's probably going to kill it as Blade, but I actually wish they went younger for the role of Blade. Like, this man is about to be in his 50s.
Yeah.
And it was announced in like
2019
that he was playing Blade, and they still haven't even shot the movie yet.
And then they apparently
they're rewriting it.
I love Blade. I loved the original like Blade movies. So I'm just like, please, I love vampires and I love Marvel. Please, please be good.
Oh wait,
y'all.
This man's name isn't Pedro close to 50 himself?
Yeah, he's in his 40s.
Yeah, but Reed Richards and Blade, like, this two, it's not the same. Like,
different vibes.
The thing that the stuff that Blade has to do. Granted, obviously they're gonna have stunt director, stunt cast, stunt actors, and all that other stuff. But the fact that we know more than likely there's gonna be 3 Blade movies, and we haven't even started shooting, and it just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and all that other stuff. But anyway, let's get back to the Marvel. I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that breaking news. I forgot to ask you that at the beginning of the stream, so thank you, Kara, for reminding me. But yeah, so. What was I saying? So the next issue that I have a problem with, because I know, Amanda, you said you wanted to talk about it, and I don't know if we have the same issue, but actually you go. Tell me what was your other issue of the Marvel, and we'll see if it's the same as mine.
Okay. I have a couple. So one of the issues I had too, where it's just like, again, I love how we have like fun coming back into the MCU, and I love how we have like fun coming back into movies in general. And things are not like very dark and very bleak, but I'm also kind of still missing.
Oh, wait, sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, no, Chris Pratt is going to be Reed Richards.
Chris Pratt. Oh God. But isn't he Garfield now?
Yeah.
He's Garfield. He's Mario. He's Emmett from. Whose demonic possession? Like, whose soul does he have possession of in Hollywood that he keeps getting these voice acting roles?
But. One of the issues I had at the and I thought it was going to be delved into more, was like Carol's relationship with Monica.
Yes! Fucking yes!
I knew it was, as soon as you lifted, I was like, oh yeah, it was that. But like, I feel
I'm sorry if I scared anybody that might have would be wearing headphones. You
good. I feel like that didn't pack the punch I thought it would, because I was waiting. Remember like in WandaVision when she like mentioned Carol and she was like, hey, Carol, right? Like, I was like, oh shit. Oh, there's tea. Like I was like waiting for the tea. And then it was like lukewarm tea. It was like, oh, you weren't there for us. I'm like, oh, so it's the same fucking tea as every and also like especially when you have them like, I feel like it was it could have been pushed further. Like, it just wasn't, it didn't hit the way it was supposed to hit. And so by the time, big spoilers for the end of the movie, by the time Monica got stuck on the whole
review is a spoiler review, so.
First of all, I knew she was going to be fine. Second of all, I knew she was going to see her mom. And third of all, like, it didn't pack the same punch, because I'm just like, girl, you didn't, basically nothing was resolved, and then you just lost your niece again. Like, what the hello? Like, you're way too calm. I was like, it's nobody screaming, crying, and throwing up, like, because like if Carol like actually lost her shit, I'd be like, oh, okay, it hit. But like, she was just like, oh, like.
So I have info on that. So I have some info. So basically, based on some leaks, they said that in the second battle that they have, instead of Kamala hitting a button and they go to a random planet and just have a girl talk and hash things out. They filmed a whole nother arc. What happened was Kamala gets captured and Monica and Carol have to resolve their shit and then go save Kamala. That was
so good.
That was the original. They shot it. They actually shot this. It's not just like there's like stills from Kamala being kidnapped and everything. So they actually shot this, cut it out, and then went back and added the scene where they had their little girl talk, and that replaced it.
Okay, it's been 30 years. I don't think you can resolve 30 years of resentment and beef in a quick little girl talk and hugs and just let's go.
And that was also a big issue of mine in the movie as well. Like, especially with regards to it being so short, I wanted more scenes and resolution and dialogue between Auntie Carol and Lieutenant Trouble. Like, they're out of all of them. Granted, it's the Marvels, it's the dynamic of the three of them, but they're the ones that are actual family. Like, this is your aunt, and she disappeared on you for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just thinking, if they kidnapped her, isn't the plot hole being that if she uses her powers at any point in time, they can swap out still? So
I think it's because they take both of her bands. So
like,
that's not
her powers appear.
They kidnap her and
well, also remember in the Marvel show, they were like, well, you don't really need the bangles. They just activated your power because you're a mutant. That's
another fucking thing.
The bangle doesn't activate her powers, but it activates the switching. The switching comes from the bangle, not her powers.
Oh yeah, the switching comes from the bangle. Yeah.
All right.
That's another thing. The I know the X-Men made an appearance in the after credit scene, but there was no talk of mutants after that. Like, they have a whole file, and none of that was like.
Yeah, I agree, but like. Go on to what you were saying about your criticism. Like, yeah, I agree that this moment right here, you see, let me zoom in. There was this fan art. Hold up, wait. I gotta zoom out. This fan art went viral a couple years ago that shows Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, and Valkyrie, basically holding each other, saying that, yeah, these two, they're my scissor queens. So the audience wanted them to scissor. And so it went so viral that Brie Larson and Tessa Thompson themselves retweeted it and said, let's do this. And so that was their kind of reference to like an homage of that fan art that they retweeted, but they didn't go far enough. And so my whole contention with the issue is, if you're gonna do it, fucking do it. Don't do it at all. Because I had people having conversations and asking me, like, was that the fact that there is even a debate or a question about it shows that the execution was done poorly. And it honestly makes me nervous, especially once you jump to the end and we know that Young Avengers is coming. Two of the most prominent Young Avengers are Wiccan and Hulkling, gay superheroes. They're both together. If you're doing this for the Marvels. And then also, I wasn't a fan of what they did with the Eternals, even though we got a whole ass sex scene. But then when it came to the gay couples, we just they're obviously going to cater to the Chinese audience. I don't think they're going to do Wiccan and Hulkling correct. And then the whole thing with Carol and Valkyrie, like, to me, it was trash.
And also, like, I hate when they do this. I hate when they do this in movies, period, where they have, like, it's fruity, and then it's like, and here's a random straight relationship that just wipes the whole thing for reasonable doubt. What the okay. Listen, I thought it was funny, but also, like, you added that for reasonable doubt, and I know that you did. And it's just like, then what was the point? All you had to do was have them kiss. And, like...
Agreed. But they did kiss. She kissed her on the cheek.
On the cheek!
He got more action than the prince did in the movie. I'm just saying,
we're friends, but I'm like, some.
Well, we know she gave the prince some booty because when she tried to hide herself during the in the beginning of the war, like, no, she.
I was like, okay, slay by queen, but still, like.
Yeah, no, Wiccan and Hulkling are going to be roommates. Special friends. They're gonna be. That's his roommate. Or what I think they're gonna do, and this is something I said years ago. The moment they introduced America Chavez as a kid, the moment they had Billy and Tommy be kids, I'm gonna be like, they're gonna keep them as kids. Because I was like, I find it very interesting that out of the Young Avengers, the 3 queer ones are the ones that are kids.
They're like, why are you doing like? Of course, they're not going to do their kid. That's like they're reasonable.
Because Kate Bishop is an adult, Patriot is an adult, and those are the only Young Avengers that we have. Oh, Cassie is an adult, but America, Wiccan, and Speed are kids. So now that's their way of saying, well, we're not going to talk about them being queer because they're kids. We're not going to do that.
Well,
That's your excuse.
America's got a little bit more leeway because her parents were very clearly gay in whatever that movie was called.
Multiverse of Madness. But then they also
Multiverse of Not So Much Madness.
But but I also have my.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Like,
you are not alone.
But the thing about that too, where I just also dislike this thing where it's just like when they're like throwaway characters, because like you never see her parents again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, she had gay parents, and then you never see them again. Like, and then she has a little pride pin on her jacket, and then nothing else. And it's like, okay, like,
yeah.
And here's the thing too. I hate the excuse of like the children excuse, because like Spider-Man was like 15 in his first movie, and he still had his like romantic things with like oh god, what was her name?
Michelle.
No, not Michelle. The other one.
The first.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, like his girlfriend. That's like the Falcon.
The one that's the daughter of the Vulture.
Yeah.
The Vulture. Sorry, the Falcon. The Vulture. The Vulture's kid. Like they still he still had a crush on her. He still had a crush on like MJ. They were still together. They still got to kiss. They were like 16, 17 years old. So the whole bullshit of like, well, they're kids, and it's like, yeah. And
kids are gay too. I was once a kid and I was gay.
MJ.
Like, I still am.
Spider-Man was allowed to kiss MJ, and that was fine, and nobody thought that was weird. But all of a sudden, if they're queer, now they can't have any kind of romance. They can't have any crush on anybody. They can't talk about it. It's like, okay, then why are you automatically conflating queerness with being sexual? You know?
Do you think they'll get away with it because it's a show, since they did show Nico and Caroline together in Runaways? See, the difference is Runaways aired on Hulu. So it wasn't technically part of the MCU.
Yeah, it was a different branch.
So yeah, it was a different, because Hulu, they're allowed to adult, because remember, Love Victor was supposed to show on Disney Plus, but then they were like, it's probably too gay, so let's put it on Hulu. So
it's on both.
Well, now it is.
Yeah, now it is.
But it was originally out because now Hulu and Disney Plus are merging. But when it was originally out, they put it on Disney Plus. So I mean on Hulu. So I don't think they're gonna necessarily do. We lost Kara.
No, I'm here. I readjust some stuff.
It just frustrates me that people automatically conflate queerness with like being family unfriendly, and like or being like inherently like sexual. And it's like, no, that's weird. Like to automatically assign something like vulgar to just something as simple as like, okay, they can't hold hands, they can't just have a crush, like they can't just be normal adolescents. Like why do you have to automatically assign something creepy to it? You know?
Exactly. Me being gay is more than just about who I sleep with. Me being gay, just like me being black, determines the spaces I feel comfortable or not comfortable entering, the people I feel comfortable or not comfortable being friends with, the policy decisions I support, the things that I'm interested in watching, reading, consuming, playing, all of that stuff. Like, so I hate when people say, oh, I don't mind if a character's gay so long as they don't make it their whole personality. It is my whole personality. It's my whole personality.
It affects literally how you walk through life and how people perceive you. And so like that was one of the issues I had too, where I'm just like, of course you like dangle this thing in front of us with Valkyrie and Carol, and then immediately offer some reasonable doubt so that the straights don't get mad.
And that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of people, they were like, oh, I don't think that's, because I spoke to a couple, they were like, oh, I don't think that's what that moment was. Like, I think they were just, They're friends. They met. They had fun, and they were friends. They met at Endgame. It's just their girlfriend. Like the fact that we're having this debate.
It was literally the purpose. They knew what they were doing. It was offering reasonable doubt.
But yeah, Carol, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I find it interesting that the other way you might perceive this is they also expressed that straight couple in what is alpha male perceived as in one of the gayest forms of theater possible by having them be in this musical number with Carol. So I don't think I've expressed my point very well, but what I'm trying to say is you can have your straight relationship, but it's going to come with a musical. I think that might also be a little bit of a stick to people that are not
but like again
that are homophobic. That's what I want to say. I think that's how you also stick it to that crowd a little bit. Like if you're being a bunch of assholes, if you're being closed-minded and homophobic, okay, fine. Here's straight Carol. Enjoy your musical.
But speaking of the musical, which I actually heard was more of the movie than what we actually saw, which is part of the reason why the movie was cut so short, because most of the movie took place on that planet. But then audiences didn't like that. Let me ask you guys, especially I'm gonna start with you, Neves. Are you a theater kid? Did you like the musical sequence, the song sequence that took place on that? What was the name of the planet? I don't know. Let's call it Planet Glee. So
look, I come from a culture where there's Bollywood and we live in musical. Everything is a musical number. Everything is bright colors. Everything has a dance number to it. Everything is carefully choreographed to the point that it's our real life at some points. You go to like a college event with brown people, they'll break out in synchronized choreographed dances. Like it just happens to us. So I love it. I think it was the right amount of time that they used it. I thought it was clever. I don't know how I feel about it if it went on too long. I guess we'll never know, but I don't know. The amount we had, I enjoyed it.
Amanda?
I'm a theater kid, quite literally. I did a lot of theater when I was younger. I'm a weird one though, because I'm one of those people that very easily gets secondhand embarrassment. Which is funny given what I do for a living. But I feel like it could have very easily gotten stale and gone on too long. And I do agree that it went on the right amount, because one of the things I automatically thought of was like the musical episode of Grey's Anatomy, in which I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, when I love musicals, like, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite musicals, Into the Woods. I love musicals.
Same. I love Into the Woods. Yes, same.
And apparently my dogs don't.
Yeah, it doesn't like Into the Woods. You offended him.
I offended them. They probably like cats. But they hey Eclipse, can you like not? Hey, can you stop?
Technical difficulties. This is what happens when we go live.
I'm a mother. Eclipse! Thank you.
Is somebody at the door? Is somebody knocking?
No, they just heard a noise and their souls left their bodies. But like, I'm one of those people where like I have to expect singing, you know? Like if you like throw me unwarranted songs or like unwarranted serenades, I'm like, what the? Stop. Sit down, please sit down. Can you stop singing? Like I'll get like secondhand embarrassment if it just comes out of nowhere. If I go in expecting like song and dance, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm about to this. But if you just randomly like unprompted and I feel like it was funny too because it was played for laughs. I think that's what saved it, is that it was acknowledged to be ridiculous, and I think that's why I didn't cringe. I hate the word cringe; it's a slur. But like, I think that's why I didn't cringe. Because it was played for laughs and it was very self-aware when it happened. When it's not like that and it goes on for too long and the guy gets stale, I'm like, okay, can we get back to talking? Because I'm not prepared. I wasn't prepared. And then also when she like doubled it down, when she was like, "Oh, he's bilingual," I'm like, "Oh, this is funny as shit." I love.
Yeah,
it.
I thought that was funny.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, they're self-aware, and that's why I'm okay with it. But if it had just randomly been like half of a musical, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I feel like, when did we start singing? Why?
Granted, I wouldn't want it to be the whole movie, but I wouldn't mind if that musical sequence went on a little bit longer. As a musical theater kid, as a theater, I got my degree in theater performance. I love me some musicals. I try to see musicals as many times as I can. And so, I wouldn't mind, spending a little bit more time on that planet and then busting out into song. But yeah, Kara, what did you think about the whole musical sequence?
I want to say I do love musicals. I also,
she's about to say she hated it though.
No. I love a musical, but like Amanda was saying, I like to be forewarned that I'm going into a musical, and I was just like, what the fuck? How did we get here?
Well, that's what made it so funny. That's because, like, how did we get here? Like,
it's like, ma'am, how did you find this specific planet out of everybody in the solar system? You just happen to land on this one? Okay, fine, cool. But it was fine. It was fine. I can see. This is where they lost me a little bit. Like in a point system, I deducted a point because I felt like we didn't need it. I understood it. I was very happy to laugh along with everybody in it. I loved the fact that we have a brand new Disney princess in Captain Marvel. I am happy for that. But it was weird. It was weird. It was a little bit weird, but I liked it.
Monica with the 2 drinks, just chilling.
No, I was with her. That's me at the sitting, going up to the concession stand and coming back during intermission with both my drinks in my hands. I'm listening to Wicked.
I love.
But yeah, Monica. No, I like seeing, and then Monica, she's like dancing the whole time. And Kamala is having the time of her life. And the one thing I love, like, I think the thing that really, not that there was anything wrong with the movie, but the biggest strength of this movie was Iman Vellani. Like, I loved every single moment and interaction and scene and her facial expressions that she had in this movie. Started from like the first one when she first found out that Carol Danvers was in her house. She was like, "Yeah, Captain Marvel was here." And she like froze. And it's like, and I feel like the reason I love her so much is because I also feel like she's just playing herself.
Yeah.
Every time I see her like in interviews, I'm just like, I love you even more. And I can't wait to see, like, because she keeps saying like her Carol Danvers and she wants to meet Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, hopefully somebody films that moment of her meeting Robert Downey Jr. for the first time. Because I need to see that. I need to see that.
But give that child what she wants. She don't even want to check from y'all at this point. She just wants to meet Robert Downey Jr. That's all she's looking for.
It's like a ray of light. It's like so refreshing to see. Like, because I hate to like those characters that are just like everything's gritty and dark and like it's just fun to see somebody having a great time. Like somebody that's clearly just there for a vibe. It's just nice.
Yeah, and then the way she looks up to Kevin, the fact she's like, "Oh my God, we're a team. That's so great!" Like just all of her moments with obsessing over Carol, all of that stuff. Like she was definitely the heart and soul and main driving point of the movie. But with that said, because I feel like we haven't really talked about Monica that much. So, Kira, what did you think about Monica? And being that, this is her first, not live action, because we saw in WandaVision, but her first movie debut. Monica Rambeau being the first female Captain Marvel in the comics, originally in the comics.
Miss Spectrum.
Yeah, now she's granted, she didn't even get a superhero name in this movie.
They name dropped it though.
They name dropped it, but it's not official. Like they said Spectrum, they said Photon, and they said Pulsar.
Yep. I needed more time with Miss Paris. I don't know. I needed this movie to be 2 hours. I needed this movie to be officially 2 hours long, at least. And I think a lot of I'm gonna call her Photon because that's who she is. And I think Photon deserved a little bit more time. I think she deserved to be mad at Carol. I think she needed to nurture and be maybe an additional role model for Miss Marvel, for what is that child's name? Kamala.
Kamala.
It's I don't want to say they wasted her, but they didn't use her enough. They definitely could have used her as a catalyst to keep the movie going, and maybe even somehow make the villain a little bit better, like trying to have her talk to the villain and explain, who she is, or maybe even trying to convince her to come over to the villain side. That's my writer brain going, though. They could have done so much more with her character, which would have helped the movie a lot more. You've got 3 phenomenal leads, and I hate that they didn't use that relationship more than they did in this movie. That's something that they should have milked. If you want to hit notes with women, it's relationships with women. That is a major note that I feel a lot of women would identify with and want to come back to, and not feel pandered to if you actually develop those feelings. Or went deeper.
I agree, because a lot of Monica's scenes were just relegated to her being the smart one, to just the exposition dump. That's mostly what her role was in the movie.
It was giving she speaks so well, and that's what chapped my ass a little bit about that whole thing.
And that's something that, like, going into this movie, I was excited, being that her character is being handled by a Black woman.
Yeah.
But then, like, granted, we don't know how much was, her, how much was Kevin Feige, how much, yada, yada, yada. But like, her character, I appreciated her more than I did in WandaVision, especially when, at the end of WandaVision, putting her Black body in front of these white kids that don't need her help. I had a huge problem with that, especially considering, because people always say, well, why do you have a problem with that? Like, yada, yada. Bullets were going to go through her at that time. So she was willing, she pulled a full, what's her name from Annabelle, where she sacrificed herself for that white family.
Oh my God. I can't remember her name.
I can't think of her name.
Her movie?
Huh? Annabelle.
The horror movie.
The horror movie.
Wait, what? I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. What the? I've seen that movie. What happened?
Why can't I think? Hold on. Let me Google it real quick.
Was it Annabelle?
The first Annabelle movie.
Yeah.
The woman that played Black Mariah. I can't think of her name. Fuck. Alfre Woodard. Alfre Woodard.
Jesus Christ.
So Alfre Woodard sacrificed her life to save the main white family that was in that movie. She's not related to them. She's not an auntie. She's a neighbor. And she sacrificed herself to save them. That's what that was. That's what that moment of Monica jumping in front of Wiccan and Hulkling.
I think
I saved them. That's what that gave me. Because it'll be one thing if they change. All they could have do was added one line, like she knew the bullets were going to go through her, but no, she didn't know.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she didn't know the bullets were going to go through her, so she basically sacrificed herself. Good thing I'm wearing pants, but she sacrificed herself thinking the bullets were going to kill her to, like, save kids that got powers. Like, that annoyed me. And then her defending Wanda, they'll never know what you sacrificed. Bitch, what did you sacrifice? You took over a whole ass. Don't get me started on the end of the WandaVision. That shit pissed me off. So I say I like to say that at least her handling was better in this than it was in that, but she was still mostly just the exposition dump. I wish we did get to see more scenes and more moments of vulnerability between her and Carol. And yeah, like you mentioned, mentoring Kamala, especially being like a huge captain. They called her captain of, like, the Saber base and things like that. And not only just that, but let me ask you this: once we got to the end and we saw what we saw with Monica doing what she did to, I guess, bring back the multiverse or whatever, do you think that was them saying that she's more powerful than Carol, or no?
I think at that point she was, because she had the power from the bracelets and she had her own power. So she had all 3 of their powers at that point.
Yeah, I think she literally has to be.
Yeah.
Be able to do that.
But I mean, also Carol did restart the sun, though. So, like,
but she's also like, You know?
What were you saying? It cut out.
I said she's also like a light bulb. Like she can just do that.
Yeah.
True.
I was just wondering because I was just like, I hope once they introduce, like they actually, because technically in the comics, Monica is more powerful than Carol, arguably speaking. So I was just like, they better give this black woman her full power, glory, and like, especially like even when they introduce Storm, I better see Storm doing more than throw fucking lightning bolts in the MCU. She better be at the full Omega level goddess that she is. I better see her sucking air out people's lungs, using her power to control electricity to give niggas seizures in their brain, to electrical impulse. Like, I need to see all of it with regards to Storm in the MCU. So I was just wondering, that's part of the reason why I asked that, like the pictures, because honestly, for the most part, when you think of the black characters in the MCU, none of them are really all that powerful. Like even Sam Wilson, he has avian telepathy in the comics. Now, granted, that might be a little bit stupid to do in the MCU, but he's still a black man with powers that they took away. Especially now that we don't have Chadwick Boseman. War Machine, he just has the suit. He doesn't have powers. So like we don't really have that many black characters with powers in the MCU. So that's my. I see everybody just got all sad. It was like,
what is it? What else is there to say? What do you add to that?
So that's why I'm like, especially once we're getting the X-Men now. You, I'm gonna do an Amanda Marvel. Y'all better not fuck it up when it comes to Storm. Make her an Omega level mutant. Cast her as a dark-skinned black actress, and give her a dialect coach so she can have a good African Egyptian Cairo accent and not what Halle Berry tried to do. And
she's a like
Shuri, but I said we don't have that many. Shuri's now another one now that she has the heart-shaped herb.
Didn't Halle Berry stop doing the accent after like movie 1?
Yeah, no, she did it in movie 1, and then after that she dropped it.
Yeah.
Senator Kelly is dead.
And was Storm in like the newer X-Men movies.
I don't think she had. Did she have an accent? I don't
know. She does, but she's not original. Like I think she was born in Africa, but she's not from Africa.
No. Storm was born in America. She was born in Harlem, but she was raised in Cairo, so she should have an Egyptian accent.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like Halle had an accent in her movies when she played Storm.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
She did?
Very subtle, but it was there.
Yeah. I don't like to think about the dark times.
Yeah. Or rather, not dark times.
Well, speaking of not so dark times,
what
do y'all think about, jumping to the end? We get the post-credit scene and the thing that everybody was waiting for. Actually, no, let me. The first, what should have been the post-credit scene, Kamala, which I thought it was a weird cut where you see Carol and Kamala in the plane. Then all of a sudden she's in New York recruiting Kate Bishop. I was like, this should have been a post-credit. Like,
it should have been.
Scene. That was a weird cut. But anyway, what do you think about the fact that like now it's kind of officially confirmed we are getting the Young Avengers? She's recruiting Kate Bishop, and then Marvel, after the movie came out, they released the thing saying right now the confirmed Young Avengers are her, Kate, and Cassie.
Right.
And then you'll find out who's next after that.
She said Cassie. She said, "Did you know Ant-Man has a daughter?"
Has a daughter, yeah.
Oh, she did. I missed that.
So yeah, that was already talked about a little bit. I hope they fix Hulkling. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope
we haven't even gotten a tease of him yet. Like, granted, there's rumors of people saying we're not gonna, which I hope they don't do it, but they're saying we're not gonna get Hulkling. What they're gonna do instead of Hulkling, we're gonna get Hulk's son, Scar. He's gonna take the place of Hulkling.
That's who I meant. That's who I meant. And I'm even sorrier that you reminded me that they did that shit.
Like, I always forget that Hulk has a random ass son.
It was hella random with that terrible hairdo.
Oh my god!
the hell happened here?
God damn. God.
That hair was terrible.
Why'd they do him like that?
Nobody told them no. That's why they did him like that. Nobody told them no.
That was wild.
It was a mess. But yeah, what do y'all think about the Young Avengers?
I'm actually excited for it because I feel like it would be a great time when all of the Avengers that are out there fighting Kang. It could open up a storyline where the Earth is left unprotected and that some other villain comes and then the Young Avengers have to step up because everyone else is fighting Secret Wars or they're fighting Kang. So it could be a good storyline. It all depends on like how long they wait for this shit. Because by the time like these end credits actually pay off, these people will be adults. Like what the hell happened with Marshall Ali and whatchamacallit, the other guy from Eternals? Like it's been years since they.
Jon Snow. I can't think of his name. I'm
Yeah,
drawing a
Jon
blank on
Snow.
names today.
They're gonna wait so long. These kids aren't gonna be kids anymore.
Oh, Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. There we go.
Yeah, that's who it was.
But also,
Was it?
what I want to know, and I'm gonna ask, do you want? Because obviously now we know it's coming. But do you think, or do you think it's gonna be a movie, Young Avengers, or is it going to be a Disney Plus show? And then what do you think? And then what do you want?
I feel like if it were to be a Disney Plus show, it would have to be a Villain of the Week show. It would have to be a villain. It would have to be like some Scooby-Doo as like Villain of the Week with like an overarching plot.
I agree. More than 6 episodes.
Yeah, it'll need more than 6 episodes for sure.
Please.
Can we have? I know we can never have 20 episode seasons again, but can we have like 12?
Yeah.
Like 12 is a happy medium.
Exactly.
And
wasn't Daredevil all seasons of Daredevil like 13 episodes?
Yeah.
Give us that.
Yeah.
Because then you have like what? You have like 4, 4, and 4. Yeah.
Because that also gives you time to develop the characters as opposed to just stuff happening and then they got next episode, stuff happens, next episode. No, like develop their relationship, their friendship, their romance.
Yeah, like I feel like 6 episodes, and I said this too about Loki. I was like, if something's gonna be less than 2 seasons, less than 3 seasons, and you know that, don't call them seasons, call them parts.
Honestly, all of Loki season 2 could have been an hour-and-a-half special, like Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because we're complaining about it should be longer episodes.
Something
or longer seasons. I feel like with Loki specifically, it you didn't need 6 episodes. You could have told that whole season in an hour-and-a-half.
I feel like
Let me.
Docs, Daniac, that plot was pointless. I didn't that didn't need to be there.
Exactly. And then what was the point? Sylvie didn't add anything to this season. It was a whole. The first episode was about where's Sylvie? You got to find Sylvie. We need her. We got to get her back. And for what? What did she do?
I was tight when they started to reveal that the entire second season was. We didn't need to do it. It just throw the whole shit out. We didn't need to hear. I was tight.
He wasted centuries on that. How was he not like? Okay, I know time works differently, but like, I've been playing video games recently, and like, all I can think about is like reloading every time I fuck up, and like, I'm just like, how is he not insane? I would have been nuts. I would have been inconsolable. I would have been coming through looking like the day 30 from SpongeBob. Like that Woodward, where it's like, give it the Mr. Krabs, like give it up for day 30. Like it'd be me. That would have been me. I would have looked insane. So, and also just like it's just a montage at that point. That's not an episode, it's a montage. It's an extended scene. Why was that whole episode an extended scene? I know we're not talking about Loki, but I just had a.
But yeah, exactly. That's why, like, the first episode and the last episode could have been the whole thing. Like everything else in the middle, none of that mattered because it all got erased anyway with him doing what he did. So like, it was stupid. But one thing I want to add, because like something that Neves pointed out, in terms of like these post-credit scenes, I think that's also my big issue with Marvel right now. They keep throwing a bunch of stuff at us with these post-credit scenes, but when is it going to pay off? When are we going to see Hercules? When are we going to see Clea? When are we going to see Star Fox again?
I forgot about Hercules. That's the thing too. It's like they throw in so much stuff at me that I know that I watched it, and I keep forgetting that I saw it because it's so much.
Exactly. Like we know we're getting Blade, but then we had Black Knight, Kit Harington. Is he getting a movie? Like, what are we doing with that? Like, Or hell, going back even further, there was and which never came into. I thought it was going to come into play for Shang-Chi, but there was this whole thing at the end of Shang-Chi where it was like, oh, the 10 rings is sending out a signal to space. We don't know who that signal is for, where it's coming from. We thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a reference to the Eternals. Then I thought it was like, okay, maybe it's Kang.
Nope.
None of it.
No idea.
None of it. What's going on? What? When are we going to get follow up and conclusion to all this stuff that they're introducing in these post-credit scenes?
And here's the thing: is like by the time they do, like it's already been several years, and I have forgotten.
Yeah.
We've had like 6 movies since Eternals. We've had like 6 movies since Eternals, and nobody's fucking talking about the fucking giant Tiamat sticking out of the ocean.
The way home, Dwayne mentioned is like, so are we just never gonna talk about the giant like celestial popping out of the earth, or like, or we just is that just we're just gonna ignore that?
Like, if anything, that should have caused massive tsunamis, endangerment of life, and all of that stuff to have. Like you would think that would come into play.
No.
That's why you need to summon Storm. She could have stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, let's get into the final post-credit scene since we're at the 1.5 hour mark. So we finally got X-Men in the MCU at some point. We saw Beast. Now I'm not gonna lie. Tell me why Beast looked better in X-Men First Class and X3 than he did in 2023 with that terrible CGI. And that was Kelsey Grammer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought the CGI looked terrible, but yeah, let's talk about the post-credit scene. So yeah, Monica ends up in a new universe. She wakes up. She sees her mother, who's not her mother. She's crying. She's freaking out. We find out that that's not her mother. That's binary. So she's another variant of Captain Marvel, which kind of, and I saw a post about this, which kind of teases that apparently Carol Danvers is an anomaly in the multiverse because all versions of Captain Marvel seems to be Maria.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
because of the race. In Captain Marvel 1, they said that they raced to the hangar, and that one time Carol took a shortcut and she beat her. Every other time Monica wins.
Oh shit.
White privilege.
Oh, and there's and Carol
Yeah, the white woman took a shortcut.
even alludes to it. She's like, it should have been you that day when she's talking to Monica.
Yep.
And she has her back and she's like, it should have been you.
Ooh. Miss Lashana Lynch getting promoted on a regular is she gonna be a long-term Marvel? Yes.
I mean, I love
we saw her in the Illuminati. We now see her in this.
I'm so glad that
are we gonna see her in Deadpool? Because like obviously these are the Fox X-Men, especially with it being Kelsey Grammer. We know the only Marvel movie that we're getting next year is Deadpool 3. So is that gonna be Monica's way back into the universe? Is she gonna interact with Deadpool?
maybe it was like it's like I'm just like I'm so glad you went to the universe where your mom didn't get crushed. That would have sucked. That would have sucked. But like that is a cool little like when you do look back in the movie, which is why I love talking about the movies. Like when you think about the lines that they say previously, where it's like, yeah, Carol is an anomaly because like she literally says it herself. It should have been Maria. That's so cool.
But yeah, no, like we talked about this. I feel like it's an error. Like they keep calling the MCU, the main MCU 616. But it's like, no, we know the comics are the 616. The MCU is Earth 199999. They even say that in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Right.
Earth 199. And even Aman Vellani was like, I love Kevin Feige or whatever, but he's wrong. It's not Earth 616. Earth 616 is the comics. Like they fucked that up. And it's obviously just an Easter egg reference, but like if you're gonna say everything is connected and it's all like Spider-Verse, all of that is get the numbers right, damn it.
Like, also too, like the way, because what did they say in Multiverse? Did they say Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, they said your Earth is we designated 616.
I think that's a load of shit. Okay, first of all, like everyone knows how I feel about Multiverse of Madness.
Don't get me started.
But like, I don't have to say it. But like that, the way that, especially since what was it? When we saw like Across the Spider-Verse and we saw literally the other pockets of this other Spider-Man movies, the live action movies, where it's like, ain't no way the MCU is 616. Like they said it, I don't believe them. Like I believe canon, quote unquote, but like this time I'm like,
yeah, that's the one canon I don't accept.
I was like, I don't believe you. I think there's too much weird shit here for it to actually be 616. Like,
or the fact that you haven't stuck to one fucking arc of comics stories at all. There's no way that you're 616.
And here's the thing too, is I feel like it'd make more sense if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
at least say 6A or something. Like throw another letter at the end of it.
Maybe at some point.
Yeah, let it be 6166.
Yeah.
Like that would make more sense if it at one point like it was, and then something switched that it wasn't. And also, this is why I hate time travel. Sorry, like every time I talk about Loki, I'm like, because we all saw Loki, right? We all saw the end of Loki, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is all of this shit happening at the same time?
Supposedly.
Yeah. He's outside
the TVA.
Time, so technically, yeah.
Yeah, because TVA is technically out of time and space.
Yeah.
So it could be, I don't know, fucking. It's like the future, the past, the present. It's all at the same time. I don't know.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah.
Basically.
Because I'm trying to think about like how things are. I'm like, how? And I'm like, also like I think about Spider-Man. They ripped a hole in the multiverse in this fucking movie, right? They ripped a hole in the universe that Monica had to close to another.
Why did the TVA intervene?
No, because the TVA is gone. It's gone.
But is it though? It's still there.
But is it? That's another thing too. Is it actually gone?
No, it's not.
No,
remember, Loki saved everyone, and now the TVA is still there.
Do people get pruned or not? Do timelines get pruned or not? What construes as fucking up the timeline? Because they opened a whole hole in the Marvels. They opened a whole hole, and then Monica went on the other side and had to close this shit. So why? I feel like that is pruning behavior. I feel
remember now they don't prune the multiverse anymore.
I know they don't prune but don't they though?
No,
not anymore. Not anymore.
That's why they turned the loom into a tree.
Yeah, that's why they tried to expand the loom so they can have all the multiverses survive now.
But at the same time, okay, that has happened, right? That happened. He also went back to a time before that happened.
I mean, you can still do whatever you want in that realm. He can still visit whatever time he wants to. Well, he could before he took the throne. He had the power to time slip or whatever the fuck it is into whatever point that he wanted to.
But at the same, but if that's still happening, there are still points in which the TVA exists and prunes timelines.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So like, that's why I hate time travel. Because I'm just like, they ripped a hole in the fucking universe. That's somebody somewhere has to be like, huh?
But speaking of
and also, why is it Monica glitching? That's a
Spider-Verse thing. That's not a
the only Spider-Verse people do.
Outside of their time.
That's a Spider-Verse thing. That's not happening.
But look,
but I get it. But I get it. She should be glitching. Yeah,
Loki should be glitching. When he was somewhere he didn't belong, he started going whoop, and then just like popping up in different fucking places.
They're all saying like Spider-Verse it connects to the MCU as well because they referenced it. Yeah, she should be glitching.
Yeah,
bugging out.
They don't have the budget for that. I mean, they do, but
they should.
Don't think too much about it.
I mean, maybe she just wasn't there long enough to not glitch.
Yeah, she wasn't there long enough.
How to fix
or
the
Beast gave her anti-glitching serum.
Something.
But
anti-glitch serum.
But speaking of thinking too much about, last question I'll ask you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. So we obviously know we're getting the X-Men.
Yeah.
We know we're getting more for like Deadpool, yada yada. It's going to be like Deadpool kills the Foxverse, yada yada. But once the X-Men are officially introduced in the MCU, two questions. What would you like to see for like the first X-Men movie, or how would you like to see the X-Men introduced in the MCU? And then which X-Men do you want to see outside of the obvious ones? Like, oh, I want to see Storm, Jean Grey, Cyclops. No, like outside of the obvious ones, which mutants do you want to see in the MCU? Kara, I'll start with you. Oh, that rhymed. I should be an MC. So again, where do you want to? How do you want to see the X-Men introduced? What do you think they can get introduced next? And then which X-Men do you want to see in the MCU outside of the main obvious ones?
Where they're gonna get introduced, where I want to see them is, oh God, when the storyline with the president trying to get them all to take that fucking serum, I want them to redo that.
So like
especially
God Loves
since they
Man
have
Kills?
all this, huh?
So like God Loves Man Kills? Was that
yes.
it? Yeah.
Is it? I think yes. I think that's the name of it. Yes. Oh, come back to me on the B-roll X-Men. I don't know. I really don't know. Because I like Storm, and that's all I'm here to see. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't care. I don't care about nobody else. I just want to see Storm done right. Okay, that's all I want. I'm gonna give y'all grace, but I don't want.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Storm is the greatest mutant.
Like no.
Neves.
The thing is, I think we're gonna see a lot of these X-Men, but I prefer at one point we just lose all of these Fox X-Men and start from scratch and start some new.
Oh, no, I'm not including the Fox X-Men. I'm talking about like new like I want.
Oh, like the new ones.
Yeah,
okay.
I want new X-Men.
Yeah. I think the one that I'd be really excited to see, other than Gambit, who I think is like a main person, I think that'd be really cool. But Dust is a really good one that I would love to see.
Dust.
Yeah. Agreed.
Hey, what am I gonna say?
I don't know. What are you gonna say?
If the Kitty Pryde count as a standard X-Men?
The who?
Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
She's already been in 3 movies.
Yeah, she's already. Yeah, she's been in. So I'll rephrase it: X-Men that haven't been in the movies. So it doesn't have to be like, I want to see Forget Me Not. Who the fuck is that? Like, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be that obscure. But who hasn't been in the movies? Or who's been in the movies as like a cameo that didn't really get that much play, like Jubilee, Dazzler, etc. That's your question.
I heard Taylor Swift's going to be Dazzler. Have you guys heard that rumor?
Boo. Yeah, I hope not. And then also chat, that goes for you guys. So what mutants do you want to see in the X-Men once they introduce them?
When you ask somebody what they want for Christmas and they forget every single thing they've ever wanted ever.
That is this right now.
So while you're thinking about it, I'll answer. Like me, I want to see, before they do an X-Men movie, I want to see X-Men, the mutants, but I want to see in like individual movies them show up before they actually do the team up, almost kind of like what they did with the Avengers. We got to see them in individual movies before they team up. So I would love to see like a solo Storm and Cyclops movie, or actually, because Gambit and Storm are both thieves, I would love to see like an espionage thief breaking into somewhere to have to do something type of spy thriller thing with Gambit and Storm.
Or like a young Gambit, young Storm.
I would like to see something. Yeah, I would like to see something like that. And then eventually, and they're already teammates. They already know each other. So then when they become X-Men, we don't have to go like, who are you? Let's team up. We don't have to do all of that bullshit. We already know each other, but we're just doing solo movies to get to know these version of the X-Men. And they better not do another fucking Dark Phoenix. I'm over it. God. Or if they do a Dark Phoenix, can we get a Phoenix Saga first?
No.
Well, wait a minute, because
they always do Dark Phoenix without Phoenix. Like it doesn't have as much weight without giving us the other stuff. But
but Binary, just because I had to read up on her because I did not know who the hell she was. I'm not gonna front. I read that she actually got her powers from the Dark Phoenix after she killed herself or something to that effect. Isn't that what she?
I don't remember how Carol became the binary form, but it was after because Rogue, sucked up all her powers, and then something happened and she became binary, and she was that for a while, and then something else happened and she got her powers back. Whatever. I don't remember how she became the binary form. But her as binary, it was like a fiery force. So when Carol powers up, and it's like you see that's technically her going binary.
Yeah, I thought it was a clone.
It's like her most powerful form.
Okay.
What'd you say, Neebs?
I thought it was a clone that becomes binary or something like that. That's how I remember.
No, it's Carol.
Okay.
Well, it's just unlimited power.
Wow.
Yes, Jean Grey is vital, but she's an obvious one. That's why I said no obvious ones. But for me, I want to see you mentioned Dust. I would love to see Dust. I want to see Gentle, a Wakandan mutant who has super strength. I want to see Danny Moonstar, who's in New Mutants. I want to see Ileana Rasputin, Magic. I would love to see her. Granted, we saw the New Mutants. I didn't watch New Mutants, so I'm not counting that. I would like to see a lot of black and brown mutants, because like Storm isn't the only black mutant. Bishop isn't the Storm and Bishop aren't the only two black mutants. So I would like to see Sync. I would like to see them do Darwin justice.
Oh God.
I would get out of my head because I was trying to remember.
My power is that I can survive anything except racism. Like it was trash what happened with that character. Like, so yeah, I would like to see Darwin done justice. I would like to see Colossus done justice. Let me look at my X-Men show. Who do we got? Dazzler. Give me Dazzler, but not Taylor Swift. Give me Rogue, like the X-Men 90s animated series, but not the Anna Paquin bullshit that they gave us. Like I want my X-Men like the 90s X-Men. And yeah.
There's a character called Jetstream that I know Cleo Thomas really wants to play. I'd like to see that. Like, I'm reading up on his powers and such. He'd be a good one to put in there. Like, if you don't want to, he's got the powers of like one other character that I can't remember because I'm old. But if you wanted to switch it up a little bit and put him in there to give it a little bit more diversity, Jetstream would be a good one to put in there.
I also want to see Sunspot, who was also in the New Mutants movie, but cast as a white man. Sunspot is black. Give me Sunspot. Yeah, there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters. What'd you say, Amanda?
When did New Mutants come out again? Like what, 2021?
I think so. Let me Google it.
Doing that shit in the 2020s?
New Mutants release date 2020. 2020.
Yeah, during the
and
pandemic.
What made it even worse is the director said the reason he cast Sunspot to look the way he did is because Sunspot is rich. So he was like, I wanted him to look like he had a silver spoon in his mouth and came from a spoiled family. Oh, so you're basically just saying black people don't look spoiled. They can't be spoiled and they can't come from a rich family.
He said black people look poor.
That's basically what he said without saying it. Because yes, the actor that they cast was Brazilian and Sunspot is Brazilian. But guess what? The largest population of black people outside of Africa is in fucking Brazil. It's not in America. It's not the Caribbean island. It's Brazil.
Confidently said it too.
What'd you say?
I love how he confidently said it too. Like it came out of his.
That's crazy.
He was confident. He was confident. But anyway, so final thoughts about the Marvels since we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. Amanda.
I laughed a lot. I didn't cry. And I love things that are just fun and girly pop. I wish it had more of an emotional impact. I really do wish they would have pushed the envelope when it came to characterization, when it came to character relationships, and when it came to like the overall themes of the movie. I do think it should have been longer, but overall, I did enjoy it more than Captain Marvel, and I enjoyed it overall.
Mr. Super Chat from Her Real Reviews. Thank you so much. Just wanted to show some love. We need a weekly show. I don't know about that. Like I said, when I went live, I just worked an 11-hour shift, and I got to work another one tomorrow and another one after that. I'm ready to go. Like even now, I'm ready to go to sleep, but I'm also hungry too. So
Eat first.
Huh?
Eat first.
I might. Can I eat and sleep at the same time? That's what I. If y'all they talking about AI and technology, give me that device where I can eat and sleep at the same time.
Michael, that's called having a feeding tube.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh well, give me that.
They have that already. It's just not pleasant.
But yeah, did you finish what you were saying about final thoughts?
Yeah, yes.
Leaves.
Me or Amanda? Who are you talking?
No, I say you.
Oh, final thoughts. I thought it was a very entertaining movie. It was a lot of fun. I do feel like there's a better movie on the cutting room floor, but other than that, I think it is a great movie to take your kids and families to, and you'll enjoy it.
Kira.
I surprisingly liked it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I appreciate them not trying to cater to what they think women would actually like to see in movies. I appreciated that they toned that down significantly. Makes for a better movie, and yeah, do that more, Marvel. Write better scripts. Ask women things. It's okay.
Agreed. Is it the best Marvel movie? No. Is it top 10 Marvel movie? Probably not. But is it a damn fun, good time? Yes. And that's really all you need. If you can walk into the movie and say, I enjoyed that, I had fun, then that's all. It doesn't have to be a deep dive into like, political thriller, action, this Wakanda, Infinity War. And that's also the thing I hate. And kind of a disservice in the MCU. It seems like everything that comes out, they're going to compare it to Infinity War and Endgame. Nothing is going to be Infinity War and Endgame. And that's an impossible bar to judge something by. Like, so we need to stop judging things by what Infinity War and Endgame was. But in terms of like the funness of this movie was better than the first Thor movie. Like, and then people complaining about this movie. Like, y'all really sitting here on Janet Jackson's Wi-Fi signal with Quantumania being out and saying that this movie is not as good as This movie was leagues better than Quantumania.
Love and Thunder will forever be the shit.
Exactly. Love and Thunder was the brownest of dookie water. So like, this movie was fun. It gave me everything I needed. Iman Vellani was a treat. She was a delight. I can't wait to see her in every single thing else that she does. And so, yeah, and it made me go, I want to see that again. So that's how I felt about the Marvels. And so, yeah, that's all I got to say. But Neves, tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely.
And you guys coming up next.
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Watch with Neebs, or you can find me on my podcast on YouTube at Salam Nerds. And we're talking about a lot of things right now. We're talking about Invincible. That's what we're doing right now. We also do reality TV shows every now and then. We'll do The Bachelor, Love is Blind, all of that fun stuff. And I would love for some of you guys to be on. If you ever want to come on, let me know.
Slide in my DMs. Kira.
Ooh, hi.
What you got coming next? And then you'll finally introduce like, hi, I'm Kira. You can find me here.
Yes, you can. You can find me on Instagram at Roomful of Blurs. I also have a podcast called Roomful of Blurs that I do live on Sundays at 7 p.m. I usually just have some new up and coming content creators on my show to talk about the things that they're doing. I'm also part of a podcast called Blur's Eye View, which BlackGayComicGeek will be on soon, I hope. Haha.
DMs.
I have a schedule for you, so don't play. I'll see you in January, sir. I also have a podcast that I do called Child of Mandalore, where I talk about the history of the Mandalorians. That's all the way from the Star Wars Episode 2 all the way up to the present. If you like that and you're entertained by like some fairly decent voice acting solely by myself, that's me. You can find that on any podcasting platform that's out there in the universe. That's it.
And all of their links are in the description box below in case you don't remember anything like that. I preempt. So with that said, Amanda, let them know where they can find you and what you got coming next.
Got you. So, sorry, my dog just decided she wanted to snort. But yes, my name is Amanda, aka Amanda Just Vibin. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram mainly. I also do have Threads. I'm on Twitter, X, the app formerly known as Twitter, And I'm also on YouTube, and I'm still trying to post more often on YouTube. I'm just on YouTube as Amanda Castrillo, Amanda Just Vibe, and everywhere else. And yeah, now that the strike is over, I can go back to talking about movies. And so I'm going to do more of that. And I also do some video game commentary content. I don't stream. I just literally talk about what I did while playing a video game. So if you like, follow me.
All right. And guys, you already know where to follow me. You're on my channel. You're subscribed to my channel. That's why you're watching. But what I got coming next, I just recently saw Saltburn yesterday, and a quick little spoiler of my review that's coming whenever I get a chance to record that, because I probably should do that tonight, but I'm going to sleep. But it was my favorite movie of the year. Now, why? We'll talk about that. I'll say, so, you know, a quick little tidbit. Definitely go see Saltburn. It comes out limited release this weekend, but then worldwide, nationwide, I think Thanksgiving. So reviewing that. I also saw Trolls recently, the newest Trolls movie. We'll see how do I feel about that. I've never seen any of the Trolls movie, but surprisingly, I liked it. Surprisingly, it was really good. And I got to talk about Invincible. I just started watching this show on Netflix called Blue-Eyed Samurai. It is very good. Definitely check that out. I'm going to do a review on that. Gen V, I haven't finished Gen V yet. I know I'm late. I got to review that and a bunch of other stuff that I'm behind on. But I did release my review for the series season finale, or possibly series finale, we don't know, of Loki. So make sure to watch, like, share, comment, interact for the All Gay Rhythm. And with that said, thank you guys for joining me here on the live, all of my lovely panelists. Make sure to follow them, like, share, comment, interact on their stuff for the All Gay Rhythm, and check out the next video that I might post tomorrow if I don't feel like being lazy. And with that, we are out. Peace.